Underhand striking with a ball. For this first activity, I want you to grab a ball or a pair of socks or balloon or whatever you may have available and try to keep it off of the floor. And if you notice, I'm using the palm of my hands to hit the ball into the air. For this next activity, same concept. I want you to practice keeping the ball off of the ground, but notice how I'm using my forearms and my wrists to keep the ball in the air. And I also have my hands in a fist. I want you to try that for your next activity. For this next one, notice I want you to practice shifting your weight back and forth. Notice how I'm shifting my weight from my front foot to my back foot. Put your opposite foot forward. So whatever hand you write with or is most dominant, I want you to put the opposite foot forward. And now you're going to try to put some of those skills together. Watch how I bring my hand backwards and hit the ball with my palm like we practiced in a previous activity. So I have my opposite foot forward and I shift my weight forward and I hit the ball with the palm of my hand. I want you to try that. Find a wall or find some space for you to practice that skill. For this next activity, it's the same concept as what we just practiced, except for this time I want you to find a basket or a bin or whatever you might have available and try to hit your object off of the wall and into the bin or basket. Really focus on making sure that that opposite foot is forward and that we are shifting our weight and bringing that hand back so that we can generate enough power to get said object to hit against the wall and into our bin or basket. Again, the same concept, except for this time, I don't want you to use the wall as a backboard. I want you to put all of those skills together to try to get your ball or object into the basket or bin with no backboard. Remember to keep that opposite foot forward, shift your weight, bring that arm back, and bring a nice swing all the way through. Notice how I'm facing my target and my arm follows all the way through once I finish with my underhand swing. For this next one, you can choose to use your palm or a closed fist. With whichever you prefer to use, make sure that we're hitting it with the heel of our hand, as I just pointed to. Watch as I bring my opposite foot forward. I shift my weight. I'm going to show you with an open hand how to underhand serve the ball. It looks very, very similar to the underhand strike, which we just practiced. And this time I will be showing you with a closed fist. The same setup, make sure that your opposite foot is forward, bring your arm back, and bring a nice swing all the way through. Make sure to hit it with the heel of your hand. This time I want you to put maybe chairs or over a couch or something that there's an obstacle in front of you that you need to hit the object over. For me, I just put 2 gym mats in front of me and I'm practicing my underhand serve over a target. I prefer to use a closed fist, so that's what I will practice with. But notice I really focus on making sure my opposite foot is forward and getting a really good backswing so that I have enough power to get it over the target. Now, what we're going to practice is passing. I face my target. Notice how my feet are shoulder width apart. My knees are bent. I'm in a ready position. For our first activity, I just want you to practice tossing your object against the wall while maintaining that ready position. Notice how my body doesn't move very much. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to practice, again, hitting the ball off of my forearm against the wall. You can try just one arm or you can try with both arms. But notice again how my feet aren't really moving. Trying to keep that nice athletic stance. For this passing drill, I'm going to show you how to keep your arms nice and straight. Okay, we're going to keep one arm out and bring your other over to give it a hug. Make sure our arms are nice and straight together. That is where we want to hit the ball so that it goes in the direction we want it to go. So I set up my feet shoulder width apart, my knees are bent, and I toss my object against the wall and I try to hit it with my arms together. Try to keep those arms together and straight as best as you can. Very similar drill, except this time I'm going to have one foot staggered, meaning I'm going to have one foot in front of the other. Notice my opposite foot is forward, okay? And watch how I use just my legs to get the ball up. I don't use a lot of momentum in my arms. I really just kind of use my legs to bring myself up. So watch again. And notice how I keep my arms nice and straight as well. All right, are you ready for a challenge? For this first challenge, I want to see how many times in a row you can keep the ball off the ground, kind of like the floor is lava. We're going to do this for 60 seconds, and I want to see how many taps you can get in those 60 seconds. Make sure we're hitting it with our open palm into the air. Challenge number 2 is I have a target on the wall that I'm going to aim for. And watch what coach does. I'm going to work on my underhand strike to that target. Notice how, again, my opposite foot is forward. I'm really working on that backswing and shifting my weight forward to get enough power and momentum for that ball to hit my square target. I want to see how many times in a row you can do this in 60 seconds. Okay, really try and aim for that target as best as you can. Next, again, I have my same target, except for this time I'm going to work on a passing drill. Notice my feet are staggered, and I'm going to keep my arms nice and straight as best as I can to really try and get that ball into that square target. This is pretty tricky stuff, but I know you can do it. Here are some modified skills with a balloon. For those of you that may not have a balloon at home, a empty plastic bag can work just as well as a balloon, as it's very lightweight and can work just as fine as a balloon. What this will do is it really works on reaction time, visual motor abilities, and overall spatial awareness and coordination. Using a balloon or a plastic bag just gives your kiddo more time to react to the object. For this one, we are going to, again, work on shifting our weight, but instead of striking the object, we're just going to underhand toss the object, okay? So notice how opposite foot is forward, I shift my weight back and forward, and once I move forward, I underhand toss that ball to either a partner or a wall or just into the open space, but really emphasize working on that underhand toss. And this last skill is working on throwing your balloon or plastic bag over a target. What that does is gives your kiddo an actual physical target to get that object over and really emphasize getting that underhand toss up high enough so that it makes it over said target. You can use a chair or a couch or whatever you have readily available at home.